Welcome back to another MOTOBOB video, and today Triumph announced a whole bunch of new colour schemes for their Roadster and Rocket lineup. So we've got the Speed Triple, the Street Triple, the Trident, and a couple of new choices for the Rocket 3 R and GT. Now normally I wouldn't say that colour updates are a massive deal, but I get a lot of comments saying that Triumph's usual paint jobs are a little bit dull and bland and underwhelming. I think Triumph get that feedback directly as well, and so you might be pleased to see that a couple of these new paint options are the complete opposite of dull. So in this video we'll go through all of them individually and I'll give each one a score along the way. I'd love to know what you think of them down in the comments as we go through as well. But before we get started, a massive thanks to Beeline Moto for sponsoring the channel. It's a tiny navigation device that fits on any bike. It's nice and neat and it doesn't clutter up the cockpit, and they've also got a great app with brilliant route planning and lots of other cool features. I use mine on pretty much all of my rides now. You'll see it quite often in the GoPro footage on my handlebars, so it's great to have them on board supporting the channel. And if you want to find out more, there are links to their website in the description as well as my full review video. Now first up we've got the Rocket 3, a beast of a bike with the largest capacity production motorcycle engine on the market at the moment with a whopping 2.5 litres. The performance figures are pretty wild too, with again the most torque produced by a motorcycle on the market right now with 221 Newton meters peak, and the rest of the spec is top draw too, with Brembo brakes, fully adjustable suspension, a comprehensive suite of rider aids and electronics, and a level of finish which is so good that there are very few bikes that can match it. For 2023 we've got a few new options. So the R model is the more sporty one with the flatter bars, the shorter fly screen and the mid-position foot pegs, and this one still comes in Phantom Black as a base model, and there's still the Silver Ice and Cranberry Red, but now they've got an all-new matte silver ice. So they've used it on the fuel tank, the front mudguard and the rear bodywork, and then the side panels, the headlight bowls, fly screen and radiator cowls are finished in jet black. Now the silver is the same colour that you currently get on the Speed Triple RS, and I think it looks proper smart here as well. I'm a massive fan of grey bikes. They give it a little bit of stealthiness but not quite as plain looking as all black, and so this one is a 10 for me. Also, it's only 300 on top of the base black as opposed to the 600 for the fancier silver and red paint job. Now the GT model, so slightly more touring focus with the taller screen, taller bars, forward pegs and a passenger backrest, is also still available in black as a base model. But new for 2023, it essentially gets the inversion of the R model, so it's carnival red with sapphire black and then hand painted silver coach lining. So again you get that on the tank and the front mudguard and the rear bodywork, and then like the R, the rest of the panels and finishes are painted in sapphire black. Now again that's 600 more than the standard black bike, but you can kind of see where your money's going with the extra detail. For me, this one and the sort of silver and red version on the R, I don't know, I don't think they look as mean as something like that Silver Ice, and so I'd give these ones a 5 out of 10. They are a little bit premium, you can see the detail on it, but they just don't look mean enough for what is essentially a very mean bike. Now onto the Trident, which has to be one of the best, if not the best, affordable middleweight naked on the market, and it shows in the sales figures too, because I believe it's been a real hit in the showroom. Now its best feature without doubt again has to be the engine, with an 80 horsepower inline triple that feels way more lively and refined than the other bikes it competes with. It also handles exceptionally well thanks to a fairly slender weight and also some well set up Showa suspension, and the brakes are from Nissin, and again they work very nicely indeed. You even get a part LCD part TFT dash which offers a lot more functionality than anything else on the market at this price point. Now for 2023, 3 of the colour schemes are carried over, so my personal favourite, the matte black, is still there with the oversized Triumph logo. There's also the Silver Ice with the big logo again, and it gets a red pop on the mudguard and the radiator covers and under the seat, and then the black base model which is fairly simple with a little red stripe. The colour that got dropped was the white, perhaps not selling that well, and they've replaced it with this bad boy, the Baja orange. So orange on the tank with the big logo again, orange on the front mudguard, and then black on the radiator shroud and the underseat. I definitely prefer it with the radiator shrouds blacked out because it just makes them look a little bit less noticeable, and then the orange on the rest of the bike does definitely bring it up to something a lot more lively than what we're used to with this line of bikes. It's not on a whim as well, like Baja Orange goes way back with Triumph. I've actually got some footage of the original Speed Triple that came in this color, but we'll get to that in the Speed Triple section of this video. I'd love to know what you think of this one down in the comments though. I reckon it's going to be pretty divisive. I think I'm going to give it an 8 because I admire their audacity and bravery, but personally, I don't think I'd buy it. I'd still go for the matte black. Now, the next step up in the Roadster lineup is the Street Triple. So more power, better spec equipment, more electronics, and the result is right up there with the best naked sports bikes. So firstly, the R model, which is the slightly more affordable variant. So last year's silver ice paint is gone, but now there's a completely stealthy carbon black version, which I think looks pretty mean. It's pretty much black everywhere, and then a couple of pops of metallic grey graphics just to give it a lift. Now the RS model though, I like this one a lot. Again, it comes in carbon black, but to distinguish it from the R model, you get bronze graphics and bronze wheels. This just looks incredible to me. Straight away a 10. I think it almost looks a little bit retro to have a black bike with gold wheels, a bit 90s or something. I'm sure they've done something similar previously on the Street Triple 675, or maybe it was the Daytona, but either way, I'm a massive fan of this one, and I think the bronze as opposed to gold just looks a little bit more premium and has a little more depth to it. But I've saved the best, or at least the boldest, for last. This is the Speed Triple RS, so top of their naked tree, loads of power, loads of spec, much less weight than its previous generation, and this really is a rapid bike that gets all the bells and whistles. Previously they offered it in sapphire black and silver ice, and while I thought they looked quite tastefully done, I can also see how it might seem a little bit plain when you look at the rest of the super naked competition. So they've gone completely all out for 2023 with the same Baja orange that we saw on the Trident. This time though, it's on almost all of the bodywork, so the tank, the radiator covers, the fly screen, the belly pan, the seat cowl and the tailpiece, and it's only the front mudguard that escapes the orange treatment because it's carbon, and how would you know that it was carbon if they painted it? Now they've gone for some grey on the graphics for this one, but overall it's clearly a tribute or a callback to the 1050 Speed Triple in pretty much the exact same colour. I saw this one earlier this week when I was filming at Superbike Factory in Donington, and I captured a few shots because I knew I was making this video a few days later. It's pretty much the same with the Baja orange on every visible panel, and I think it's quite cool that they've done this. We've seen a few sort of 90s tribute sports bikes recently, the Fireblade, the ZX-10R I think. Yamaha did a 60th anniversary sort of retro paint job for the R series bikes as well, but I think this is the first time we've seen a paint job on like a naked or super naked referencing something from a few years back. This one's 300 quid on top of the other two base colors, and I'm super interested to see how it sells. You see, I've asked Triumph plenty about the feedback with regard to bland colors, and they always say the same thing, that what people say in YouTube comments doesn't really reflect people's buying habits when they actually go to a dealer. So when they actually make bold colors available, people rarely actually buy them. Is that still true though? Maybe the market's shifting a bit. I mean, Triumph rarely do these things without speaking to their customers, so it'll be interesting to see how this one goes down. If you've been after a colorful Triumph and complaining, then now's your chance to put your money where your mouth is. As always, I'd love to know what you think of it down in the comments below, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, then hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one.